guys, welcome to Keep It Spiritual with myself, Kris Meredith. Now welcome to this video. This video is part of the lockdown sessions. First of all, give us a massive thumbs up and make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. Then also right there are the other videos that are in this series. Now it's all about the lockdown, of course, dealing with the coronavirus from a spiritual point of view. And of course, I've been speaking with the beautiful psychic and medium. She's gorgeous. It's a lovely Anne Scholes. Anne Scholes herself, you know, a very, very famous psychic and medium in her own right. Always busy doing readings as well. If you want to find out more about her, in the description below. Now in this video, this one is all about the lockdown, the come down, near enough the end of the lockdown. Now what do we do with all this energy? Maybe you've taken this time to maybe take on a new career, or maybe you're enjoying baking, spending time with your family. Maybe you've been developing your psychic skills, maybe you've been working on your mediumistic skills right now, or you're just developing and raising that vibration. But what do you do with that? You know, we've heard from everyone in the media, you know, what's going to happen, but we don't really hear it from a psychic or a medium or a spiritual point of view. Now we do. That's what Keep It Spiritual is here for. This is the lockdown, the come down. Enjoy. Well, welcome back, Anne Scholes, to Keep It Spiritual. Always lovely to have you on here as well, Anne. And of course, we've done two other videos about the coronavirus and the lockdown. This one is going to be called the Lockdown Come Down. And what's Anne going to call it?
Get out of jail, yay!
I love it, because that's what it's going to be, isn't it? I know we're not 100% there yet, but, you know, we're all heading in the right direction. I think, you know, we can see one friend in a park now, which is, you know, a very, very exciting time of the week for me when I go and meet my friend David, the one that I've chosen within that answer. It's a step in the right direction. It's a positive step as well with everything. So how do you think, first of all, you know, we've all changed on that spiritual level throughout all this time?
Well, how we've changed, this is a gradual process. I'm just looking at the bigger picture for the moment for people understanding. This is a process that's been spiritually awakening, yeah? There's been a process that's been going on for a number of years now. And this is kind of like the pinnacle point, as we need to get it now. We need to start to work from our heart center, because we're transforming from the third dimension into the fifth dimension. And the fifth dimension isn't a place or a location, it's a point within each individual, to be more open-heartedness. Now, it has shown with the lockdown the amazing abundance of human kindness that is out there. There's no mistaking that. Now the thing is it going to change when we go back to some kind of near normal? Well, things are going to change. Just irrevocably. Things are going to be done so much more differently. And we need to keep that compassion, kindness, respect for other people, and give them the time, not for people to jump to conclusions. For example, I was talking to a lady and she said, oh, this lady's really going on at me, and I said, you just need to stop. You don't know what's gone on with her during the lockdown. She could have anxiety and fear and all the rest of it. So we have to be a little bit more sort of stand back and what is causing this. And I mean, we talk about that spiritually anyway, don't we? But I think on the greater scale of things, it is now down to us to be more aware of how people are feeling and respect those feelings, and take that on one side and maybe deal with things slightly differently than just shouting people down because you can't get your own way. It's going to be so different. And I just hope that people can remember this and come back to this place whereby we were isolated, you know, so that we can be better people, a better race, human race, so to speak.
And that's important, and that's the big message, because, you know, we have been, you know, completely isolated, and it's been, I've kind of taken it in as a bit of like of a reset kind of button is, you know, we was going, you know, so fast, so quick. Everything was all about money, greed. Nothing was really, you know, for the world, for the animals, for the plants, or anything. It was all, you know, quick, money, money, money. How much can we get?
Profit.
Yeah, and that's it. And it's kind of, you know, this time, one thing, you know, I like to think about it is like Mother Earth has kind of said, nope, enough is enough. We're stopping, and we've had this time now to kind of go into ourselves and kind of have a chat with ourselves and kind of think, actually, no, what do we really want to do? You know, I'm here, I want to enjoy my life, but what is it that will make my heart happy? And that's one thing I've taken in this time. I know it's not been nice to see people, but it's nice not being in the normal routine, you know, to get up when you want, do what you want. I think it's a positive thing, Anne.
And also the conversations that you have are more about how are you, what you've been doing, not the drama exploding that when you can meet people, it's like, you know, all the drama and what's going on and the moaning, the whinging. There's a different kind of energy now. I mean, just in this little bit of locking out, I got to go to a garden centre yesterday. So people, I found people far more courteous, far more communicative in a pleasant way. Whereas normally, with that busy running in, running out, like with the supermarkets and stuff like that, people are being a little bit more open and and being able to talk to someone and saying hello and, oh, I'm sorry, I'm just giving you space. And, you know, instead of people just barging in, you're so right, Kris. It's just going to be, we just need to keep that essence and move that forward. And this is kind of coming into this awakening of, we've been in the Capricorn time zone. We've been in the Capricorn era. Capricorn is all ruled by money, success driven. You know, the profit. It's hard working, but it's money, 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 money. We're moving now into Aquarius at the end of the year, which is the unconventional, which is more to do with, you know, not doing things in the way we used to do them. We're thinking a little differently. We're being creative. We're not conforming. We're finding another way to conform. So this is the shift coming from that quite strict and rigid earthy, because Capricorn's all about your earthquakes and tsunamis and anything to do with the earth. There's Aquarian is more airborne. It's an air sign. So we've got, you know, things going through the ether. You know, we're coming into, like, you know, whether you like it or not, that 5G, the AI, all of that. It's like transmission through the airwaves. Hence, when on the flip side, we've got this pandemic. So it's through the airwaves. So it's just giving that kind of a general description. And so we are going to have to change the way we think, the way we communicate to other people.
It's so important as well, because communication, you know, and we're all, you know, spiritual people at the end of the day, but, you know, a lot of people throughout this time, you know, would have really got more in touch with their spiritual self, you know, maybe had a little bit more time to, you know, meditate, maybe, you know, connect with spirits, maybe connect with the guides. And, you know, when I'm hearing people talking about, you know, they have used this time to really kind of raise that vibration and raise awareness. And, you know, I believe a lot of people have awakened, you know, while this is going on, and will continue to awaken. So really that can only be, you know, a positive thing, can't it, Anne?
Yeah, and, you know, I know people have started doing yoga and dance, and raising your vibration is about getting you out of the lower self into the higher self, and starting and opening the heart center. And so anything that you do to raise that vibration puts you in a really good place, makes you feel more happy and contented with yourself, because there's a lot of people who don't like themselves, don't love themselves. And this, I know we preach about it, but it's getting people to understand. It's almost like it's been enforced upon us, as if to say, you need to listen now. You need to value who you are, you know, be the divine soul that you are, recognize that, and not be afraid of being that person, that, you know, you have a lot to offer your family and friends, and you have a good heart. So it's the bigger picture, and it will continue to raise. And raising the planet's vibration is so important, because I think we've got I call her Gaia, Mother Earth, had got so bogged down with negativity and the destruction of the planet, like you said, and the whole thing is being flipped to take us to redirect our attention into who we really are as a human race, and what we really want, and how we need to coexist on this planet peacefully, harmoniously, and together. And so I think it's been a very harsh lesson, very sad lesson for all the people who've left the planet, and the people left behind having to deal with that. But, you know, we've got to, as we move out of this, we've got to continue to remember that people have lost loved ones as well, and we need to continue to, you know, help them along through this, I think.
No, that's completely important. And that's the thing, you know, this has been great, but, you know, there's been a lot of sadness and a lot of hurt, because there has been a lot of loss, and, you know, that's never going to be easy. But one thing is, you know, a lot of people from this will be more compassionate, will be thinking about other people. And like you said right there, it's important for people to remember other people and put other people's feelings first rather than their own.
Absolutely. We're so me. You know, what's in it for me? You know, we've been through a phase, well, what's in it for me? What do I get out of this? And, you know, it's me first. And people leapfrogging over the backs of others to get what they want. There's been a very different, I don't know about you, but I like to watch the news. I didn't used to, but, and the journalists. And, you know, listening to the stuff the journalists come out with, and the way they speak to people, you know, they have prime TV, what you call viewing, yeah. And so if you've got your TV on and you're listening to somebody, you know, for example, Piers Morgan, yeah, and it's not, I'm not devaluing what they're saying, I'm saying it's the way they say it. It's just aggressive, and it's at 100 miles an hour, and I find it totally offensive to that sort of energy coming towards you, that vibration. And I was watching, you know, I've been watching the government thing every night at 5 o'clock, and I have to say, whatever your opinions aside, the way they've handled themselves in a very professional, well-spoken, they've not tried to get one over on whoever's asking a question. They've answered it, they've dealt with it in a really gentle way. And the difference is amazing. And, you know, I kind of get hats off to them for being able to talk to people without, I'm sure that, you know, they've gone, oh, that question again. But there's definitely a marked difference. And I love to watch Sky News and review the papers. There's a lot of journalists now who are talking differently. There's still a few that are still, but a lot of them now are being a lot more calmer about putting the point across. And I think that's what we need. We don't need to jump up and down to be heard. We can make our point from a very, from the heart, passionate, but without screaming and jumping on somebody and not letting them finish the sentences. So for me, as an observation, you know, that's made a big difference, you know. And I think as well, you know, I mean, I'm just taking this a bit further into the government. There's only half of them in there now, and there's, you know, I mean, you watched Houses of Parliament, and it's like a free-for-all, isn't it? It's been, or it has been, you know. I know it's part of their rhetoric, and I know but that has to change.
It does.
It has to change, and I think it is slowly changing. Hopefully, we need to keep that in check. So, you know,
I think it will, like, no matter what. I mean, if people don't change with this, I think, you know, that they have to. There's no other way.
They'll just become a dinosaur and be extinct.
Yeah,
that's what happens. And there's a lot of change still to come. There's an awful lot of change still to come. So we have to adapt and be versatile and rethink now, because that's what's going to move you forward as this planet changes dramatically, or for the next good few years.
I know, but the thing is, though, you know, the more in tune you are spiritually, you know, the better, I think, with that. So, you know, you yourself are, you know, psychic, you know, well-known medium as well. So how has it kind of affected you on those levels?
I have had quite a lot of conversations with people who have lost their loved ones. And also the fact that they can't be with them at the end because of the restriction. And it does tear people apart. But if you believe that the soul lives on, and as a medium for me, people who are leaving, transitioning this lifetime to the next, they're very acutely aware of everything, even though they can't speak or they're not conscious. As they pass over to spirits, when they talk, they channel through us, they know what was going on, and they try to reassure people it was okay. Don't live with that. Yeah, it wasn't anything to do with you. It was part of the bigger picture. And so I say to people, try not to carry that with you. Try and find something else that you can celebrate the life you had with them, rather than sit in the energy of it was all, you know, guilt and anger and resentment, and because that's the lower self. So if you can divert your attention to remembering the happy times, celebrate them, you know, talk to them every day, they're around, you know, then that sometimes helps people just get over, because we can't carry. The other thing is as well with this change, we've got to learn to let go, because it's so important, because the change is coming that quickly, and we can't carry all this baggage with us. Yeah, and it's not that it's you're not being a good person, you're just balancing it out, and you're being respectful of, okay, I love that person dearly and I didn't want them to go on the grief. You've got to allow that to work through, but don't hold on to the resentment, the fear, the guilt, and that kind of thing. Yeah. So I've done a lot of talking with people around that particular subject to help them to understand spiritually. We only walk from this to the next dimension through a door, and just because we can't see them doesn't mean to say they're not there.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And, you know, for everyone that, you know, is struggling right now is, you know, to have that hope, and, you know, important not to have, you know, the regrets and, you know, the guilt and everything like that, because that's a heavy emotion. And at the end of the day, that doesn't serve us, does it? So, you know,
it blocks up all your chakras. It doesn't make you feel right. You're constantly unhappy. You're closing down your heart chakra, and it needs to be open. You need to accept that, okay, I am grieving, I have lost somebody, we will see them again, you know, but to celebrate what the love they had for each other. And even it's difficult in circumstances where people haven't spoken to somebody for a long time, they hold on to that regret. You know, when they go to, we're only accountable for ourselves, we're not accountable for other people. And when they go over, they have to reconcile with that themselves for a healing purpose. And they will get to see all of that. So you can only be responsible for yourself, not what other people did.
Well, you definitely can, and you definitely can with that. So, I mean, going back on, you know, to your mediumship work, Anne, I want to know more about this as well. I know we've talked about it a little bit in other interviews, and, you know, some people that are watching might not know, you know, your fantastic work as a medium. But could you tell us a little bit about your journey, you know, from start to kind of where you are now in your mediumship world?
Well, I didn't set out to do this, Kris.
That's what I love, Anne. I absolutely love it, that, you know, and you
just didn't.
You're a businesswoman, and it's great for people to hear.
And it was something that, you know, I've reached a point where I've been working for a few companies, and they were folding, they were, you know, changing their roles. And so after being in a very long, stable job in sales, and then headhunted out of that, and then bam, 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 after 4 jobs lasting 6 months, 9 months, 6 months, you know, I was like, what's going on? And then it sort of awakened me to I don't get what's going on here. Something just said to me, there's something else going on here. And it was like, you're not meant to be here, but and I also didn't know what to do because I didn't want to go back into that environment. I wanted to try and think about retraining myself and starting a different type of career. So I was looking through different stuff, and it's like, I just don't know. I haven't got a clue. And then all of a sudden, one day I went to this open circle, and I said, this lady, why are my hands burning? And she went, she said, you're picking up the energies. You need to go to a meditation circle. You need to meditate. So the guys want to talk to you. So I was like, well, I don't think so. I'm being a skeptic. Anyway, I went, and as I went regularly every week, the clarification and the understanding that I'd actually been getting this start back as 4 years of age. But because I wasn't in that environment, because I didn't look at it, because I didn't sort of know anything about it, I just passed it off. You know, I've got a vivid imagination. I don't know how I knew that, I just did, but you know what. And also people didn't talk about this kind of thing back then. And I was also brought up very Catholic. So, you know, like, you don't ask for anything for yourself, you don't ask for others, and the whole thing. And I kind of stepped away from that because I found it didn't serve me as a person. And I found that when I explored this spiritual side, this spiritualism, it answered so many of my own personal questions. Everybody's different, and it just did. And the whole thing cracked wide open. And I realized now I should have really come into this at least 10 years prior, but maybe not. The opportunity, or the way the universe got hold of me, was they put me in a place and then put all the people in place, and it all went click, 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 click to, we've got her. She's getting it. Well, a bit long. So from that point forward, and I just didn't plan. I don't plan anything in the sense of, I'm not sure where I want to go, what I want to do, even now, you know. I just go with the opportunity that the destiny puts in front of me, because I know they've got a better plan for me than I have for myself. So I now trust, and I go with whatever's put in front of me. And it's got me here. And do you know what? I can't knock it. 16 years on TV, countless radio stations, you know, magazines, all travelled worldwide. I mean, that's the best job in the world, isn't it?
It is a lot better than you had.
A lot better than I had. Oh, sorry.
Party time, man. Party time.
I put that on silence. See what I mean? You see, that's my verification. You can't plan. The universe has got a plan. It'll do it. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. So you got to listen. You got to listen to the universe.
I know. It's on silent mode. Right. Turn it on to it again.
I love you. I absolutely love you. But you know, your story and your journey, Anne, you know, there could be a lot of people right now that, you know, are just going through that, could have come from corporate, retail, whatever, the rat race, and kind of had this time now to themselves and kind of think, you know, I do want to open up spiritually. I do want to, you know, maybe progress as a medium or a healer. And, you know, and your story and your journey is very inspirational to people, because, yes, you might have found it a little bit later than you thought you should have. But the thing is,
always been a late developer, Kris.
You found it, though. And that's the amazing thing. And, you know, you've helped thousands and thousands of people, you know, with your gifts, which is a gift in itself.
I know. It's just incredible when I look back at what's gone on. And I think many a time I sort of pinch myself, because I get the chance. I mean, people come to me when they're at the most vulnerable in their emotions. And I'm very honoured that they do come to me. And whether I do Reiki on them to bring in the emotional calming, to help them to clear the mind, to see things a little bit, or teach them how to step back and not get as embroiled in things, or with the readings to be able to connect to loved ones, that brings them so much comfort and so much joy. It's such a beautiful thing to do, and I adore that beauty of it. and I'm so passionate about that, because it is such a loving vibration to work in, you know. So I'm working with love all the time, and for that I'm truly grateful. And then that sort of kicks in. It makes it all worthwhile for me. Then the people come back and say how they've managed to realise and move forward, whether it's in spiritual development or whether it's in a healing capacity or get on with their life. And that makes me feel very satisfied that I've been able to help somebody find that tranquility or that space that they can just know that it's there and then access it at any point in time. So for me, I'm so humbled in that way for work, for working with people. It's just very, very beautiful.
It is, Anne. It is, Anne. So what one thing, Anne, will you be taking with you from this whole lockdown experience? What will you be taking with you on the lockdown come down?
Well, I've spent so many days, because the weather has been amazing, in the back garden. And I've virtually transformed it. And it's that reconnection to Mother Earth. Now, I'm not a grower of tomatoes and stuff like that, but I love to grow plants. And just to bring colour into the garden, and to bring, the birds and see the butterflies and all that kind of thing. And for me, what I've realised is I've missed that, because I've worked really hard over the years doing this work, and I tend to put myself on a back burner. But what I am going to take forward is that there will be at least one day a week where now I can sit in my sanctuary with all my plants and talk to them, because I do believe in that, and just relax and have that time to come back to Mother Nature in that bigger sense. We respect it, we talk about it, but to be actually in it. I mean, you've got a dog, so you can go out and have a walk with the dog. I don't have any animals. Walk in the park or connect that way. So for me, it's sitting in my garden, contemplating, more meditating, meditation, and time to think. And also, I'm in the process of putting together my own oracle cards. So the divine inspiration is coming through really strongly, so it's the time's right. And that's kind of one of my little tranquility moments, just let it all out.
I love that.
Breathe in and exhale.
Our plant's going to feature on your oracle cards, Anne.
They might just do.
I like that. Taking the inspiration, Anne. It's beautiful. Really beautiful.
There's so much. When spirits start with me, they just start boom, and then they give me what you would call the door opener for it, and then they sit back and I go, well, okay, can I have the rest? I've got 44 cards here, you're giving me 2. Hang on. But then it's almost like they know I will follow the flow. Yeah. So so at the moment it's just designing, it's on paper, it's that kind. It's going to take 6 months. These things take time to come together. But I want it to be so beautiful and so healing but uplifting, that people then just will enjoy the end result, hopefully. So yeah, that's been, and it's been there in my head. I've got drawings from 10 years ago, but I've never allowed myself the time. But this lockdown has given me the time as well. So maybe that's the whole culmination of it. But I'm really excited about it.
Me too. And I think it is, Anne, for you and, many, many other people, this has been a bit of a blessing, for people to, slow down, take time for themselves, and maybe, develop something that they've always wanted to do, like you with your beautiful oracle cards. I'm going to be the first one to have them. I want you to know that. I need them. I'm like, now.
So excited. Excited.
You said 6 months there, and so I'll make sure.
Yeah, I know. I've got my drawings. I've got my list, actually, of all the words as well. I've got all that written down. I've also started the descriptions. So now what I've done is that, because I don't know, I do know one graphic designer, but I don't know a printer to get them printed. So what I've done is I've sat back and said, just ask the universe to bring in the right person that would understand what I'm doing and what I'm trying to create, and will work in harmony and balance with me to get these printed. So I've been sending the thought out for it to be brought in. And that's what I do when I'm doing stuff like this. I just sit back. I don't go looking. I just say, sit back and bring me the person at the right time so that I can get this done and dusted. So, yeah, I'm excited about it too.
Oh, very exciting, Anne. Well, Anne, I've got to say, well, thank you so much for spending time with me today and Keep It Spiritual. And this has been the lockdown, come down as well as you say, get out of jail, which I just absolutely love, Anne. Well, Anne Scholes, psychic and medium, thank you so much, sweetie. Mwah.
You're very welcome. Can I just say, make a mention that I've been nominated, my holistic centre has been nominated in Soul and Spirit Awards. And if they subscribe to my channel, there'll be a link on there that they can nominate my shop of 5 years, well, 7 years old, so because it's the second premises. And it'd be lovely to get some support and get some kind of recognition. You don't do it for that, but it's so nice when you do get recognised. It makes it feel more worthwhile.
Oh, of course you will. And I'll put it on my video as well. And thank you so much, sweetie.
Thank you.
I'll see you later.
Love to you and Bertie.
Bye, bye, bye.
Bye.
There we are, guys. I really hope you enjoyed that video and it brought you some upliftment as well while we're going through this coronavirus epidemic, and we're nearly at the end as well. So do hang in there, and I really hope you're working on raising your vibration and developing yourself, maybe psychically or maybe mediumistically as well. Remember, if you want to know anything about Anne Scholes, it's in the description below. Remember, give us a massive thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Remember, I'm Kris Meredith and this has been Keep It Spiritual. Until next time, I will see you later. See you later.